Hey, how's it going guys? Ancient Rune here, back with another Borderlands 3 build video, and today I'll be going over my fire focused Zane build called Hellborn Zane. This is a hustler racer type build that focuses on setting yourself on fire with elemental projector and using fire guns to have some crazy double dipping with elemental damage. This build at first started as a more shooty and less amp focused Zane build with Hustler Racer, and it just ended up with this insanity. You can easily hit 100 million damage and hit even higher at peak. I've seen over 900 million damage, so getting very close to damage cap there, so it could even hit even higher. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The save file will be found in my Discord, which is linked down below, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, and for the gear here, of course we have a bunch of fire guns, and these are all Hustler Racer friendly and stuff that doesn't really do more amp focused stuff. Now these are all, besides Scoville or Fire Luck, you do have the non-elemental Scoville, but since we don't have the boost to elemental damage in a non-elemental one, we really want the fire one. So we've got the Chomper here, we've got the Sawbar, and we've got the Scoville, all of them doing great damage, and you want them all with AC Splash so we can double dip that splash damage. Now I have a non-elemental Scoville here just for if we have fire immune enemies, and if Revolter bonus element doesn't kill them, we're not active, then I usually will just swap to the Scoville here really quick because it's just a really good gun to quickly swap to. Now some other stuff you could use is a Rebound and Fire, a Fire Anarchy, any fire launcher, anything with a normal Hustler Racer build you could probably use, but that's not really the focus of this build. Echo's also pretty nice. It makes a bunch of stickies. Each sticky in an echo explodes 3 times, so you've just got a bunch of exploding stickies going on. I also like to have a Shrieking Devil. You could use it with Cryo, and that could also be a weapon, but it's a lot more inconsistent. And then for the shield, we have a couple options here. I go the Revolter mainly for the fire rate, not even the shock damage. Shock damage is just a nice bonus. A fire rate is a 50% fire rate mult, so it multiplies 50% of your other fire rate, and so it's just really good for outputting more damage, getting more bullets out for more chances of Hustler, just being better overall. And then that shock damage is really nice for fire immune or fire resistant enemies. I like having fleet parts since we are going to have a low level one to break it easily with our burning summit. Having a lower level the better, and focus on a lower level than parts. We use AC applied terror since we are using the 1 damage to double dip in a racer. Now some other stuff that is nice is an old god. You don't have to use a low level old god, that can be nice for keeping up your shield. You could also use a big boom blaster for some survivability with shields, as well as giving grenade ammo, and if you want to use some launchers, heavy weapon ammo, which is launchers. You can get amp on big boom blaster, I'm pretty sure, so that can be nice. I have adrenaline here, which is nice when your shield is broken, then you won't be getting the boosters, because when your shield is broken you aren't getting boosters. And then Asclepius is actually really fun on here. If it wasn't Revolter being so good with its fire rate and also the shock bonus element as well, I would probably use the Asclepius because it gives a 50% damage resistance to elemental status effects while shield is depleted, and we will always have our shield depleted. I use a low level one. You could probably keep a high level one empty if you play smart. And it also gets a 3% max health regen when damaged, which is really good, and then also brings adrenaline so you get more reload speed. You can also get the fire rate one, Trigger Happy. I think you can get parts on that for more fire rate. It's just a really cool shield and really good for survivability. So if you do find a good one, you could try it out if you want to. And the min-max stuff, Revolter definitely beats it. And then for the old god I forgot to mention, I'd probably use either adaptive, absorb, or recharge parts. You could keep your shield at 0 and use something like fleet. That could be nice as well, but this is what I focus on here. We don't use it because it's 20% fire damage added with 129 fire damage from elemental projector, so it's not really doing much, so the fire rate from Revolter is a lot better. Then we use a burning summit here. This is to throw at ourselves. You want a low level anointed or non-mayhem level. You want it anointed. with terror damage and fire rate. This is for the V1 damage to double dip. Since we won't have as much V1 damage, we still will have some from Kaka combo over in our Guardian rank. It says gun damage, but it is V1 damage, so we will be getting some for that, but we can get up to 32%, 35% here, as well as some good fire rate. So this Burning Summit will throw, activate elemental projector, give us a fire boost damage, and that fire damage will be double dipping through Eraser. We'll also be keeping our shield low to break our shield for the Revolter bonus. I also have an It's Piss and Mesmer here. This is mainly for crystals. Hustler Racer is using good enough to where you don't have to, but it is still there if you want to. And then of course, this is a Hustler Racer build, so we use the Hustler. I like to have points in Brain Freeze, just to have a freezing chance and at least slow them, but the points don't matter. As regular Hustler builds, you want Splash Radius, Splash Damage, and Weapon Type Damage. At minimum, just get any Splash Radius Hustler, and then either Splash Damage or Pistol Damage will be great. Because we don't go deep Red Tree for grenade ammo regen, I have a Shock Raider here just with some points in pocket full of grenades, just for some grenade ammo regen, just if you need it. Main parts I found it is like in crystals, some bossing stuff, but usually not too often, but it is there if you need it. Just kind of a nice utility thing. Passives don't matter at all either, since you're just using it for a bit to get back the grenades. Alright, and then the whole basis around this build as well. It's the elemental projector, as I said, with the Burning Summit. Light yourself on fire, and you get that. And then we have Victory Rush V1 damage as well, so we're getting a bunch of V1 damage to double dip, as well as pistol damage, area effect damage, and mag size. The main thing you want is area effect damage on an elemental projector in the second or third slot. Victory Rush is nice, but not needed. Still very helpful. So get any elemental projector with area effect damage in the second or third slot, as that'll also give area radius to make Hustler Racer work. And then pistol damage or any weapon type damage is what you're gonna want as another option. And then magazine size is really nice, but not needed, as we have a good amount of reload speed, so we're fine if we need to reload more. Alright, and since this is a Hustler Racer build, we'll start in Purple Tree. I've got 3 points in Renegade. This is for the health regen, since we'll usually be having our shields down and our health attacked a lot from dodge and enemies. Having this health regen is really important. And we put the rest of the points into Mana Focus to get down the tree, plus 1 extra to get down later to Arm and Flint. But we go that just for some accuracy and handling. Not the most important thing on a Hustler Racer build, but still nice. Then I have Headsman's Hand here. Hustler crits do not get crit damage, but if we ever do naturally crit, it is very nice. And then I have Commitment, mainly for the cooldown rate. Since we don't have topped off, this cooldown is a lot more important here. Then we have Fugitive, so we can sprint and shoot. This means we have a lot better uptime on Violent Momentum. Then we have Domino Effect. This is for fire rate and reload speed. We won't have the actions to crit much unless you really focus critting with Mantis, but still the base crit for the 20% reload speed and 15% fire rate is still very nice. Then we have Eraser here. This is going to be what's doing our damage, double dipping all our stuff. I'll put my main Hustler Racer build in there. I probably go over the damage formula a lot more, or it might be in the Zane build docs or some sort of formula document linked in the build docs as well. I know I have it somewhere. So this will be going with 3 points for the max 120% pierce damage. And then we go Arm and Flint. This is for the bonus V2 damage. This is incredibly helpful if you aren't able to get any weapon type damage in here, because this is also V2 damage. So that makes it a lot better. And it also applies a dot, and that's a double dipping dot. It's not the main focus, but it still double dips like how Racer double dips, just a little bit different in the formula, but it still gets those global bonuses like V1, elemental damage. It doesn't get gun only V2 in the double dip, but it does in the base damage because it's based off of the impact times dot formula, so it's still really good. I have seen 100 mil dot on Hemovorous. I don't know if that was just a racer applying a dot or something with Armand Flint, but I do notice the difference having this damage here with Armand Flint. And I may as well go over the action skill while we're here. We go Mantis Scanning to activate our kill skills and have Terror going just to keep everything up. I have Colder Shoulder here just because I don't really want anything else. You can go No Way Out. I usually use this embossing because I don't really need it anywhere else. You mainly want to stay farther back from enemies, especially the saw bar, since you need to have a certain range. So pulling enemies in isn't the best thing, so I like it with bosses where they aren't pulled in. Just that extra damage of double dipping debuff is really nice. But Colder Shoulder will help freeze rate with Brain Freeze if you have any points in that. So that can be somewhat beneficial, but the main thing that matters is having Proliferation for the extra charges, just to activate your action skill more. And then we will go Blue Tree, we go Violent Momentum and Violet Speed for the gun damage. We go some points in Cold War for the swap speed because we have some extra points. We go 1 point in Salvation for Lifesteal, Reload Speed with Cool Hand, Seeing Red for activating our kill skills, and we go Violent Vines for Fire Rate for more DPS. You'll see we go No Gives Misfortune. That's because we're only using one action skill because we want to throw the grenade for constant fire uptime. And then we go Death Falls Close to boost our kill skills. I also don't go playing dirty just because I don't have good uptime on playing dirty with how fast I'm killing things, so I'd rather put them in Cold War. You can swap these Cold War points into playing dirty if you want, but I found it not needed. And then Red Tree, we mainly just want to get Duct Tape mod for the splash immunity. Since we are using fire weapons, we can still get dotted, so you still need to be careful, but that at least the splash damage will not affect us. But we do get magazine size, and we do not go Borrowed Time because of we only have one action skill, and it's not an action skill active action skill, so action skill duration does not matter. So we just dump the points in Synchronicity. They don't matter at all, so just keep that in mind. And then we have 2 points in Donnybrook for some health regen for missing health. It isn't that impactful. You could put them in Red Tree as well, put them in Cold War or playing dirty if you want, but I like having the extra health regen. I'd have to really experiment and pay attention, but it's just whatever. This is 2 points is mainly tough points. And then we go into Green Tree, not because we want Barrier, but because we want Rise to the Occasion. Well, just because of Renegade, we want max health regen, and that's what Rise to the Occasion is. Since our shield will mostly be down, we'll usually have maximum Rise to the Occasion, which is 5% max health per second, which is huge, so it'll be great regen. And then we have Ready for Action because we still do want our shield recharging, so we can break it again for Revolter. You just need at least 1 point in shield, and then you can damage yourself again with the grenade, or an enemy hits you and Revolter will activate again. So that just kind of helps there. And if we do end up like some reason having full shield, then we'll just get some top uptime. So yeah, we got that there. We don't go any Brain Freeze because it's not super important to freeze enemies or anything. Rise to the Occasion is huge, big survivability tool, and really needed here. And I just want to point out, a lot of times when I go no shield, I usually turn off shield reboot and emergency response, but as I said, with using Revolter, you want to keep these on. But if you already use something like the Asclepius, you will want to turn it off, so you will have optimum uptime on keeping your shield down. So I guess Asclepius is the best survivability option, where Revolter is the best damage option, but the damage isn't really needed until you go into like the big damage min-maxing stuff. So if you want to have fun with the Asclepius, you can do that. I haven't tested with the full level one, but you probably could keep it down with the right playstyle. I hope you guys enjoyed the build video. This build is super cool, and it has to make you think, as well as some fun gearing options for shields. I never thought of this being a type of build, so coming up with this was super cool. The saw bar is insanely strong and deletes enemies with ease, especially Hemovorous, and just anything flesh melts instantly. Again, you can find the save file in my Discord, which is linked down below, as well as my other socials. If you haven't, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.